Do you know what we just saw? We just saw a shark swimming in his own home. He didn't invite us to swim in his bathtub, but we showed up. Papa and I have been beach hopping today, and I found this book. I didn't even have this book before today. Snickers, the Seaside Cat. It's not a whole lot I like more than a good snuggling mammal. So here we go, a beach and a good snuggly mammal. It sounds like a good time. So we're gonna check out Snickers, the Seaside Cat. The most cats I know about on this ocean or the seaside would be the cats at Key West. They have the six-toed cats. To Emma and Charlie. That's a nice little crab. All right, I'll give you the double picture before I start reading. Look at all the pictures. And I'm gonna fold this one back so you can still see the picture, but I can read. Once there was a little fat cat, and his name was Snickers. He had 4 white paws, and almost all the rest of him was inky black. He lived with a little boy and his father and his mother. One day, the little boy and his father and his mother went to the seashore. That's some good stuff, because that's where they absolutely needed to go. All right, so you got the picture of the kitty cat. I'm going to fold the page so I can read. But he's got to see there. He's looking at the water where the fishes are, and the barnacles and the anemones. When Snickers came to the sea, he was delighted. That's one of my words. I love to say delighted. He could smell the fish. He thought he could catch them like mice. But when he dipped his careful little white paw into the blue sea, the water was wet and it was cold. So Snickers decided to go out in a field and look for mice instead. So, good luck. I'd rather go fishing. Oh, that's a nice picture. Look at him in all the flowers and the flutterbys and the distant ship. The field was full of butterflies, so Snickers chased one. But the sea was bothering him. All around him, he could smell it. Beyond the smell of the pine trees, and he could feel it. It excited him. And way off, he could still hear it. Boom, boom, boom. Snickers did not know that boom, boom, boom was the sea pounding the rocks way offshore, out on the ledges of the sea. Can you hear the boom, boom, booms? I can hear them. These are big pictures. Look, what did he see? It's a seagull. Then he heard, oh, 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 scream, scream. He wondered what it was. First it was a shadow, then it was a bird. Only it was such a big bird, it didn't seem very frightened of a little black cat with white paws. Snickers didn't like to think about birds who are not afraid of cats, so he went for a walk on the beach. That's funny, birds that are not at all afraid of cats. I bet you that flamingos are not afraid of cats, or ostriches or emus. I bet none of them. I bet penguins aren't afraid of cats either. It looks like where we are today, doesn't it? Let's line it up. See if Mimzie wasn't here. Look, this page fits perfectly with ocean and sand. That is perfect. Little shrimps about the size of a cat's paw jumped about in the sand. Okay, between us, that creeps me out. I don't like those little sand ones. Snickers ruffled up his fur and lifted his feet higher as he walked along. Pounce! He nearly caught a sand shrimp. But sand shrimp were jumping all the time, and they were too little to bother with anyway. He said, that's a no from me, dog. I'm gonna show you the big picture before I fold the page. See, he found, what is that he found? A seashell. That's a big seashell that his whole cat head fits next to it. Well, here are the airplanes. Then up ahead on the yellow sand, Snickers saw something. It was yellow and pink on the outside. Snickers had never seen anything that shape before. Then he crept up to it and peeked in. Woohoo! Hello! There was nothing in it. He put his head down to it and listened. There was a roar like the ocean's roar in it, but there was nothing in the shell. So he lifted up his paws and he walked along the beach some more. He's found something else, but what did he find this time? And he saw a big, fat, flat thing with long, bent legs. Snickers could see the two black shiny, and I want to say beady. I'm going to add beady to it too. Two black shiny beady eyes sticking out of his head. Snickers crept after it, but the crab's eyes stuck so far out of his head that they had seen Snickers coming. Probably why they're like that. The crab scuttled down to the water's edge, but Snickers was too quick for it. He hit the crab with his paw to see what it would do. And this is what the crab did. The crab shot out one of his long bent legs and grabbed a hold of Snickers' little white paw in its crab claw. It hung on and pinched Snickers a little. Snickers didn't like that at all. Period. He snatched his paw back so fast that the crab fell off. Then he licked his paw and roughed out his fur and walked on down the beach. That was not a positive encounter for Snickers, was it? He wasn't sneaky enough. Oh, that's a nice picture. I want to cut this book up and frame it and hang them on the wall. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? Something was happening in the air. The air was wetter and heavier. Snickers could feel it on his tender little nose. Boop. And when he looked around, there were great puffs of smoke blowing in from the sea. They smelled of the sea and came drifting in puffs as big as clouds until you couldn't see the sun anymore. Everything was gray and the land beyond was all dim and dark like one big shape. My, but I'm glad I saw that, thought Snickers. It's a helicopter. Papa wants to go in one of those guys. Look at our big pictures. Look at that. It's lobster traps. Where Mimzie and Papa live, we don't have lobster traps. We have crawfish traps. All right, let's see what Snickers is spying on. Let's read the story. In the morning, it was still foggy. Down in the depths of the sea, the fish swam slowly, and the starfish pointed their spiky arms. Lobsters crawled into lobster pots, and sea urchins clung to the rocks. Then the sun came out of the gray and drove the fog away. It was low tide, and all around was seaweed. Then Snickers heard a little sound. It was like creaking breathing. It was the seaweed popping. My, I'm glad I heard that, said Snickers. And he sat and warmed himself in the sunlight and watched the light on the waves. I've been doing that all day. And I did that all day yesterday. And I'm going to go on and tell you, I'm going to do that all day tomorrow too. The next day, Snickers and his family left the seashore. Travesty. That is so sad. All the way home in the car, Snickers thought soft little cat thoughts about the sea. Deep in the fog, a sea-slung gong sleepily rocks to its ding-dong-dong. Hark to the sound of the sea-slung gong. Ding-dong-dong, ding-dong-dong. It sounds like an old Girl Scout camp song. And that is just like the blue sky behind me. It's a the end. I hope you have a great day. And just don't even forget that, you know who? That's me, Mimzie. Loves you.